appreciate you being here. My apologies for being a few minutes late. Practice ran right up to time here this morning. But I want to first address obviously Niner Nation, another just a great show out. I know it's homecoming, but a great environment. I think I made a point to do that because that's been the case every game, and it's greatly appreciated, particularly our student section. It was a warm day Saturday, particularly on their side, without the shade from the press box. But and then just to recap the game, again, tale of two halves. The first half we're in the game, even with the two costly turnovers. Gave up the big play on the double move, but we're still in the game. Stats say it, but it's the stat on the scoreboard didn't at the end. Uh, just a tough second half. Couldn't stop the run, and we were able to stop the run in the first half. And just some things that we had some missed assignments that we hadn't had really. We've been physically beat at times and been scored on. We had some things mentally that that we're disappointed in, but not disappointed with our effort. And the guys are again, it's a lot of things going on, and they keep fighting. That's why they're a great group to coach, because they come to work and they fight. So with that, I'm sure I'll get questions on North Texas, and I'll discuss. But with that, I'll open up for questions.
Coach, I'll start with North Texas. One of the most explosive offenses in this conference. They've got some things you can exploit on their defense, but talk about their team overall and how you guys plan to attack against this good team Friday night.
Their staff's done a really good job. I think that they're on year 3. They've got a good mixture of transfers, and they've hit on them. I think defensively, at 19 in the 2 deep, if I counted right. I think the linebacker they got from Oklahoma, really good player. Offensively, not as many, maybe 8 or 9 in the 2 deep. But they've got, their offense is the best we've seen all year. Hands down. Quarterback is, I saw them play maybe the South Florida game. We were off, and we played the next day, I think. And we got a chance to watch the game and listen to the commentators on his history. Unbelievable. They lost their quarterback last year. I think he's at Virginia maybe, and he's doing well. And this young man is touchdown to interception ratio is unbelievable. It speaks volumes to how he's getting coached, their scheme. Chad, he's an offensive guy. They've got really good skill at receiver. What really impresses me probably the most is in their passing game, particularly the slots, that they know when to shut it down in the window, and the quarterback knows when they're going to shut it down in the window, and it's out on time. They have several. I say that they have a couple concepts that look different. I think it's the same concept, and they're reading on the run and finding windows. They do a great job of wrapping people, and they have more than one guy there. And then the running backs, they got 3 of them, are physical. Arm tackle's not going to bring them down, and they have the speed to take it to the house. One of the young men from Oklahoma, I personally recruited at Ohio, offered, and it's Ohio versus North Texas, and it's a 3-yard drive versus 17. So, and he's a really good player. So they've done a good job with their personnel, and offensively they are going to be very, very challenging. You're going to you're not going to trick their quarterback. But you're going to have some good pass rush, and mix it up with him. But very, very talented.
You told me Saturday I'd had to circle back with you today, talking about just ways that you've in the past got your teams to refocus after a mistake or after an interception, turnover. Maybe what has kind of resonated with you over the weekend? Have you thought about it? What message can really sink in with this team?
Yeah. Again, it's repetitive for us as far as, hey, we got to play the next play. You got to get corrected on the sideline with the iPad. but we've got to wipe it. You know, you got to, for the love of the game, I'm again a movie guy. You know, we got to clear the mechanism. All right, and that's all I know to do. And don't let again the previous play affect the next one. That's still our focus. Defensively, Coach Faunus is. I mean, I sat in on his talk to his unit on Sunday, and it's hey, put the ball down, put the damn ball down. I mean, and just put the ball down. Doesn't put it down. We're playing, and I think that's I really appreciate that, and our guys are going to hear it from me. The whole team will hear that from me tomorrow and Thursday. That's a big mental day for us.
Coach, we talked NIL a little bit last Saturday night. I'm curious, as anyone, what it's like recruiting and then re-recruiting your guys in today's age. Talk about what that's like as a head coach now, knowing you've got guys on your team that you want to develop, keep them around, and you have to add to that moving forward.
Absolutely, and that's the name of the game right now. You'd ask me, I think maybe after the game, and on it, it's just where the game is at. You look, I mean, I'll get to your question, but the comments that Coach Gundy and at Oklahoma State when he was getting ready to play Oregon, there's them. His point was there's a difference in what we're spending and what Oregon's spending, and the Texas Tech's big right now, big, and from what I understand on ESPN, that's where I get all of my information. I mean, right now we're as coaches we are reacting to hearsay and articles on ways to go about certain things. We're reacting instead of being proactive because of the rule changes and the big one is from 2 windows to 1 window. And then we're going to be talking about it as a head coaches group tomorrow with our commissioner. And with 1 window, when the AFCA at the Coaches Association in January voted on making December dead, okay, we had 2 windows, and there wasn't the big rush on recruiting was after spring practice, and you hadn't made another run, and now there's 1 window and it's in January, not December, because of the bowl games and guys playing in bowls, and I understand all those things, but where I'm going with that is the portal window being in January, from January 2nd to I think the 16th. Well, we start school the 13th, and so as I said here today, I don't know, who's going to get in the portal to go out and utilize it with funding. So, they're going to get in at midnight or, on January 2nd. Then you're going to start the process and get them on an official visit and get official transcripts here before the 13th. Yeah. There's going to be hundreds of student athletes that will be going to their next stop without even visiting, is my prediction based on where this is at right now. And I'll be saying that tomorrow on the head coach's call. And December's dead. Dead means you can't leave campus. They can't come to campus. There's no contact. So they're forcing they're forcing. I'm not sure what they're forcing, other than if you got a jump start on it, that's called tampering. It's what it is, and I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna speak my mind on it because it's been put on us, and we're formulating a plan to deal with it. All right, now retention is king. All right, and that's staff and the players that you got. We're playing a lot of young kids right now. We want to be a developmental program. We have 18 wonderful student athletes committed here. And I think 13 of them are joining us at mid-year. That's like 13 transfers that have got their stuff together enough to the point where they're graduating high school early and want to join us. That is very, very exciting. And but back to the retention piece of this, I don't have all the numbers, but I know that North Texas, they're on year 3. Alex at South Florida is on year 3. and you know, I've been through uh, a bunch of 50 plus guys joining a roster, but they join 50 guys that have been there, and been through your system, and been through your culture, and so you've got coaches plus 50 guys that know it. And I'm not making an excuse, but we brought in 50, 50, a few more, but the 50 that were here, and the coaches are year one, and it's brand new, so it's a little bit different. And so there's a lot of things in there, Hunter, um, that we're working through right now. But we've got a plan. We still have some hurdles to go. I meet with leadership tomorrow at 3 o'clock on some of these issues. I've spoken with our chancellor one-on-one in her office. In last spring on some things that we can do with our enrollment starting January 12th as far as classes being offered. But again, there's some hurdles that we have to get through, and we're going to get a plan executed and not sit around and with our hands underneath us and waiting for someone to react. We try to be proactive with it.
And just so I understand too, with the financial side of things, cutting down from 2 windows to 1 means that that financial piece has to be ready at that first window or at the
Yeah, that's fair. 'Cause, I mean, that's correct. I mean, you have one opportunity, and even if you're a grad transfer, after spring semester, I graduate. I mean, the window is coming up. It's January 2nd, and school's not in session. You're going to be having conversations you're going to call guys in, before Christmas, and finals, or during finals, and look them in the eye, and talk about, hey, we want you back. Here's what we have. What are your thoughts? And then they're going to go home and be at home, and I'm just going to say it. There's going to be contact from somebody before the window. That's what's going to happen. And so they're going to call back and say, well, hey, I'm thinking I'm going to get in because I'm projecting some things here, but that's just how I see it. And after dealing with this for the last 4 years, and what I've gone through from previous employment at a high university with, the guys that we lost after the 23 season. Yeah, and with one window, you've got one opportunity, so you have got to be ready. And my fear is hey, it's open, and there might be somebody that's off at another school, a Power 5 school that wants, okay, I've been here for 2 years and I'm not playing a lot, and the guy ahead of me's not getting drafted or whatever, and he wants to get on the field. You're, right now, Charlotte University, I'm going to follow what the Texas Tech coach said. If you're an O-line, D lineman, give us a call. I mean, I saw him finish up a presser with that. So I'll just say that right there, and give me a call. My email is talbin@charlotte.edu. But it's a lot, but the one window, you've got to be amped up and ready to go and have a plan for sure.
Coach, you're playing a lot of young players. Friday is going to be the 5th game nationally televised this season. What is that experience if you can retain those guys? How beneficial can that be moving forward?
We have a ton of things to sell here. We just do. All right. This wonderful university, we're at tier 1, the academic piece of this, and then you take on Uptown and the opportunities that we will have for internships and connections with our alumni base. I mean, there's 190,000 alumni within an hour of campus. Are you kidding me? All right. You take the student athletes platform that they get here at Charlotte and this university with the connections that they're going to, people that come to watch here. We sell it every home game. I mean, the lightning rail, the professional teams. It's NASCAR country. You can go snow skiing in an hour and a half. You can go to the ocean in 3. I mean, it's very, very exciting. And then that's not even counting the coaches and the resources and the expansion. There are so many things, but we've got to get up to where we're even. The package is even. If it's even, we're going to get them. You know, the resource piece of this, whether it's NIL, you know, more scholarships because you can go to 105. There are schools in our league that are there, and so it's a lot of things. But I'm again glasses half full because we have so many things to sell. The NIL thing is not you're not throwing money out the window and just seeing it. You're just throwing money at something. As I said, I think post game, it's an investment in the student athletes that we bring. You look at our GPA and our graduation rates upon this staff's arrival. It is an investment. These guys are going to graduate from here, and they're going to eventually wind up back here in Uptown or in this area. As I just said, there's 190,000 alumni within an hour of campus. That's how I view it, and as an investment with the type of kids that we're bringing in.
For this week, North Texas offered their former quarterback $500,000 to stay. He took another position elsewhere, making 1.2. Knowing that there's teams within the same conference able to offer that kind of money, just what's your message to the fan base? You mentioned 190,000 within an hour. Just to invest in these students and make sure that they can put a product on the field and they can help put that product on the field that they want to see.
I think it's a great point. And again, I pat their staff on the back, and they were able to make an offer like that to their guy and didn't keep him. And the guy they replaced him with is lighting it up. I mean, that's impressive. That's a whole nother story. But right now, if we get 190,000 alumni, I'll give $1,000. We'd be fine. We can get right in a hurry. But that's just part of it. And this is the best conference in Group of 6, bar none. We're going to have 3 to 4 teams trying to get in the playoff. We just are, with a great commissioner. It's got great vision, and we don't want to be at the bottom of it. We know what it's going to take, and I'm going to, I promise you that the kids that we bring in here, the ones that we have, they're going to be in class on time. They're going to be in this community. They're going to appreciate our fan base, and they're going to be at the volleyball game Sunday. And they're going to. Now they may not. They're going to be at the basketball game. I mean, they're going to be a Niner. And they're going to know the fight song. So to me, that's exciting.
Let's get a football question. Quarterbacks, you made the switch in the third quarter there. I guess getting a chance to watch the film, how do you evaluate that, and who do you think gives you the best chance?
Yeah. Again, I'll talk to Todd after practice tomorrow. It's a short week. We focused on trying to keep him fresh. With the short week, we thought we were a little sluggish on the last Friday game and how he worked them. So we changed it up a little bit. It is a little bit later in the year, but back directly to your question, Hunter. We'll see how the week finishes. But there's a chance you'll see them both again. I thought Grayson executed the offense. He just had the 2 turnovers. The disappointing one was on the one after the fake punt. You're gonna throw a pick sometime. That's gonna happen. And he it wasn't like he's throwing the ball late over the middle. I mean, he missed. He went high on a hitch route. And it's unfortunate, but he did some things in there, and so we're gonna try to build off of that.
Coach, you just touched on the short week, and after Saturday, you said you were going to get after him a little bit in practice this week, and so the challenge of getting after him on a short week to prevent them from being sluggish, that seems like a real tightrope walk right there.
Absolutely, and that's where I lean on the staff a little bit. The offense and the defense a little bit. Different approaches, but it's like anything. It's when there's a mistake. Is that a day one mistake, or is that a new wrinkle that we just put in for Temple? There's the bad ball technique. I'll pull my hair out. It's day one. I've said it. I've been in front of this microphone. It's, whether Tim Allen's coaching here or Nick Saban's coaching here, if we don't fix the turnover ratio, we're not gonna have it. You're not gonna be able to even have a chance to criticize for play calling or not pressuring or pressuring because we're turning the damn thing over, right? And so, that those are going to get dressed a little bit more sternly. It's a day one thing, and I think I may have mentioned this, but we're pressing a little bit on both sides of the ball with trying to have a few scheme things to give us an advantage with some deficiencies. It's putting pressure on the guys, how much they can handle, and I'm trying to balance as a head coach. It's a bit, so I wanted, there's no more questions, I wanted any O-line-D lineman, let us know. I mean, we want to be a developmental program. I mean, ideally you want to be, ratio wise, 60% developmental guys, and you're going to have to be 40%. That's what you want to be. That's ideal. I mean, that 60%, those guys got to be, they give you sweat equity in your program. Sweat equity. That's what we need. And my comment about, we brought in 58 guys that last year at Ohio, but there's 50, another 60 that had sweat equity in the program, and so retention is king, and we got guys here that we want to keep. I mean, we're playing four freshmen D linemen, so we want to keep them, and that's sweat equity. That's going to help us move forward. Thank you, guys.
I'll start with Dallas. I think it was a Monmouth game. That was your first game snapping. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What has that transition been like for you? I mean, Joe told us earlier you played every position on the offensive line just this past week, but snapping in particular, playing center, what's that been like in that transition for you?
I mean, it's been hard. I mean, harder than I thought, but Coach Rudolph and Johnny King has really helped me through it, so I just thank them too.
Going against this North Texas team, they give up over 200 yards on the ground per game, one of the most in the conference. What have you guys seen on film as far as, I guess, that goes and trying to get the run game going this week?
I mean, their D-line's good. They play physical. They're confident. They're fast. So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be good, just good to run the ball, and I'm happy to do it.
CJ, you've been starting all season. What's it been like? This is going to be the 5th nationally televised game. How's that experience been like, and what can you say about the defense trying to get the quick turnaround for Friday?
I mean, it's been good, starting off season. Just been trying to go out there, just help the team any way I can, special teams as well. And, North Texas, they have a really explosive offense, great quarterback, running back, receivers. And, we're going to go out there, shut the receivers down and, get some pressure on the quarterback.
CJ, I'm not asking you to say anything bad here, so don't take it as that. But you played for Ryan Osborne last year. You played for Nate Fonez this year. Talk about some of those differences between those guys, mentality-wise.
Excuse me, can you repeat that?
You played for Ryan Osborne, DC, last year. Nate Fonez this year. Talk about some of the differences, mentality-wise, from those two guys.
Coach Osborne, he was real fired up. They kind of have two different personalities. But Coach Fonez, I think he does a great job with the defense and with the coverages and putting us in the right spot and whatnot. So,
with this quarterback you're playing Friday night, what makes him, I guess, tough to defend as a DB?
He looks off, his receivers. So he'll look one way, throw the other way. He does a good job with the, tempo with the offense. He runs the offense very well, and he's able to throw his receivers open. So, and then also put the ball in, tight spots as well. Yep.
Let's go radio, Dallas. Obviously the offensive line injuries have been a bugaboo this season. How are you guys managing to keep everybody up as you're just kind of banging away here and going through, knowing you're missing guys and just kind of fighting through it?
I mean, Coach Rudolph always preached that play every position you can, so to help the team. So he just keep on hammering that into us, and just we call it the Juice Crew to give energy, like just to have fun playing football because it's a game. We just love to do it, so that's really it.